Hello folks and welcome back to Wonder of Watches, and we have a big one for you today, friends. It's a big box anyway, but the watch inside, it's an absolute doozy. Now just a quick wrister before we start. Today I'm wearing a vintage Omega Sea Master. Now this one comes from 1954. It's a caliber 420, which is a manual wind movement. And I think it's all original parts. It hasn't been polished or anything like that, so there's quite a few scratches on it, but the good news is it retains all that beveling, and you can see it on the lugs there. So yeah, a lovely vintage piece. But anyway, look, nobody likes staring at a box on YouTube. Let's get this thing open. This is very exciting. Now this watch is a fantastic watch. I know I have surprise unboxing on the icon, but obviously I'm going to have to put the name in the description, so I don't know how much of a surprise it's going to be. Now this wouldn't be possible without David from the Dublin Watch Group, who's very generously sent this down to me for review. Thank you so much, David. It's a fantastic opportunity, and I'm humbled by the gesture, to be honest with you, and I hope I can do it justice. I'm already fumbling with the pen knife here. So let's get this sucker out and see what it is. Okay. So yeah, look, the Dublin Watch Group is fantastic. They're very supportive of the channel, and we have many chats every evening on Instagram. And David has very generously sent this one down, so I'm going to unbox it. We'll see what it is, and then I'm going to spend a couple of weeks with it, or a week at least, and put some thoughts together. We'll get out, we'll shoot some nice footage, and we'll put some montages together with some nice music like we do, and we'll take it from there. Now David has also sent down this is the Seagull chronograph. I've always been interested in having a look at this. This is the flyback, or sorry, the flyback wheel chronograph, I think it's called. But you can see the movement there. Anyway, let's get on with the main star of the show. I would hold on to that one for another day. Take this bubble wrap off. Okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. Wow. Oh yes. Look at that. There is some weight in that box. Oh my god. That does not feel like a watch. It feels like a gold bullion. Just get rid of some of this bubble wrap. I've literally have watches everywhere now, between vintage Omegas, Seagulls, and I took this one down as well because I know the bracelet on this watch is, well, let's take a look because I haven't seen it yet. This is all as new to me as it is to you. Up we go. Oh yes. I mean, like, this is pure luxury. Look at that. My goodness. Oh my god, that is a proper box. So yeah, wow. This is the instruction manual. So we're getting there. We're kind of finding out what this is. Beautifully done. Even the font and that embossed finish on the logo there. It's a BR Cal. This is the 303. This is the GMT 24 hours, and it's got that vintage. I can't wait to see this. There's an awful lot to this watch, and there's a lot to talk about. Let's move on. Come on, let's move on. Come on, Ben. Come on. Keep moving, son. Okay, here's the box. We've got this button here. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, yes. Wow. And there it is. My goodness, I need to just turn my head away from the camera for a minute because I want to see this with the fullness of my eyeballs. Oh my god, that's amazing. And even the cushion, like where have you seen a cushion like that before? This is top end luxury. You only see cushions like that on Rolex and Tudor. They're specifically made so that it doesn't matter how tight the clasp is, or how short the bracelet is. This will bend and flex, so it accommodates it comfortably but doesn't apply any pressure to the metal band. That is stunning. That is stunning. Okay, there's the clasp. I mean, the finishing on this, it hits you straight between the eyeballs. It's you've obviously got that high polished center down the clasp and on the central links, and then a satin finish on the outer margins of the clasp here and on the links as well. Okay, let's get it off the cushion. So it's a deployant clasp with that double click pusher to undo it, so it's not a friction clasp like the Rolex. I prefer this type of clasp, I have to say. A really solid click on it, and I like that. I think these clasps are more robust. Having to use that spring held mechanism, I think allows it to last longer than a friction held clasp. And there it is. Look, the one thing that strikes out to me immediately is the dual color bezel. I mean, you don't really see it. Like, obviously Rolex is famous for a Batman and the Pepsi, but this is black and grey. Oh, and it's a really, really solid click. It's moving a half an hour at a time, and I presume, yeah, it's bi-directional. Now, I haven't used the GMT, so I'm going to have to, I'm going to try and set it up as a GMT watch, but really I'm going to have to familiarize myself with that process for the full review. So I'm going to take this, for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and we'll do a full review, which stage I'll have educated myself on how to use a GMT properly. Now, it's just, we want to get that center of second hands taken. So I presume now I've unscrewed the crown and I'm just giving it a wind, I presume, and there she goes. There she goes. So there's position 1 on the crown. We're in manual wind. Now the time is 6:05. So let's set the time on it. So I'm going to come out to position 2. Yeah, and that all makes sense. And you can see that GMT hand move then as well. And I get that now. It's a 24-hour bezel. So every time you move the hour, I might be wrong on this now, but every time you move the hour hand on by 1 hour, the GMT one will move on by half an hour. And then you use the bezel then in order to give you that second time zone. Now, I just want to get past the midnight position and see the date tick over. So the date on that is the 26th. I want to see that say 26. Ooh, that is a nice flick. God, it doesn't. This is no Seiko. On a Seiko, you can see the date change for about 6 hours. This one flicks over straight at midnight. So now I'm 6:30 in the morning. So one important thing when you're actually when you're changing the date on the watch is that you don't do it between, I suppose, really between the hours of 9 and 1, because that's when the movement is automatically changing the date. And if you try to manually do it within those hours, it's a kind of a danger zone, and you can actually you can damage the movement. Although most movements are so robust that they'll tolerate it, but I certainly wouldn't be doing it regularly. So now we're past noon, and we're going to set the time, which is 6:07. Everything is so smooth. And there we go. The hands, the hour hand has a kind of a Flieger type look. It's very Flieger like. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's have a look at this GMT function. Okay, so living in Ireland, obviously our time is GMT time. So let's pretend we took a trip to Rome. We're going to Rome. So the time over there, they're 2 hours ahead, I think. So we'll go to 7 minutes past 8. And then we want to set the time to GMT. So I've moved in. I presume I'm back in wind position. I'm going to come out 1. And winding the crown down sets the date. Winding the crown up, then now the GMT moves on. It's a jump hour. It jumps hour by hour, moving through the kind of half-hour indices of the hash marks on the dial. And we're going to come around and we're going to set this then to GMT, which is 5 past. Sorry. Yeah, 5, almost 10 minutes past 6. Almost 10 minutes past 6. So you could treat it like that, and you could actually set then 3 time zones. That's my understanding of it. So say we wanted it to reflect New York as well. Now New York is 5 hours behind, which makes it 10 minutes past 1. So we want to go back then and move this to the 1 o'clock position. So now we've got effectively 3 time zones. So we're in Rome. Our hour and minutes hands is reflecting Rome time, which is almost 5 minutes past 8. Sorry, I'm getting very confused here now. Don't mind me. What time is it? What time is it? It's 10 past 8. It's 10 past 6. It's 10 past 6. 10 past 6. Right, okay. And we'll screw back in the crown then. Everything is so smooth. Everything is so workable and operational. Okay, so now let's look at our 3 times. So looking at the regular minutes an hour hand, it's 10 past 8. We're in Rome, remember. We go back to GMT, it's 10 past 6. And we also want to know the time in New York. And looking at the bezel here, so the 12 in the say is here. This is the 1 o'clock, so it's 10 past 1. Now I think that that's how it works. I may be wrong. If I am wrong and you know better, please put your comments down below. But let's just get back to it's absolutely incredible. The box is heavy, but I mean, look at the box, it's just incredible. The watch is actually quite light. Now, this has been resized. Let's see, David has taken out, he's taken out 2 links. Now, I normally take out 3, but it actually feels quite light in the hand. Let's get it on wrist. And there we go now. Oh, wow. The proportions here are beautiful. David's got a bigger wrist than me by quite a bit, so I'll need to resize this, but I won't do that yet. We'll do that in due course. And when I'm doing a review, I'm going to try it on some different straps as well. It's 22mm lug width, so I mean it's a great lug width. It makes it very, it's a strap monster effectively. It makes it very versatile. I love the bezel. It's almost a standout feature. I didn't expect that to be the case. But the grey and the black, it's beautiful. We've got lug guards. Let's take a look at the finishing. Okay, so just going to move my eye off camera again. So we're brushed on the top. Moving to the side then, it's got a high... My camera really has trouble focusing in on profiles. Can I move it in closer? Come on. There we go. Yeah. It's it's got a kind of an oyster vibe to it. Big time. And then you've got a coin edge bezel. They're just the best. Aesthetically, they're just absolutely the best. I'll just give it a quick. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Where's my cloth? So I'm just going to give it a quick. Okay. And there it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Come on, camera, focus. And then we've got a box shape sapphire crystal. And when you put it at that angle, you can see where that vintage, you can see if we go back to I'm going to go back to the old instruction booklet, which has that embossed vintage on it. Oh, yes. You can see where that vintage look is coming from. But this is not a plexiglass or a Hesalite crystal. This is a modern 2020 sapphire crystal. So it retains all the beautiful, you know, the craziness of the dial, or that crazed look that a dome crystal can cause to the dial. Look at that. Look at the distortions on the 9. I mean, these are the details that bring a watch to another level. Sorry, this unboxing is going to go on a bit, but I don't handle watches like this too often. It's a stunner. It's a stunner. Now it's got a kind of it's got an Omega. Oh, what is it? The C Master, with the numerals on it. Oh, the Planet Ocean. The Planet Ocean. Yeah, it does have a Planet Ocean vibe to it, with the 9, 12, 3, and 6 Arabic numerals. The application on them looks absolutely incredible. It looks incredible. It's a really thick application. I mean, it's not just printed on there. I tell you, every time I move my head off camera, so it's one thing looking at this on camera, but looking at it in reality. But I wanted to do the unboxing live. I wanted to be a genuine reaction. And this is a genuine reaction, believe you me. The indices, the printing on the indices is 3D like. Now I am going to throw a loom shot in at the end of it. Oh my goodness. Just look at the balance of the bezel, the crystal, and the dial. Got a Flieger style hand. The minute hand is lovely. It's very sleek. It's got a number of dimensions to it. And it's catching the light lovely there. The second hand has a counterbalance that, well, to all intents and purposes, reminds me of a jet engine. That B50, I'm not great on jet engines and stuff like that. B51, is that the one? But it definitely has that jet, or even like a Concorde style look. But I suppose that ties in with the GMT, which are generally used for people who are traveling, people who are using airplanes and pilots all the time. So, as I say, we can track 3 time zones here. The GMT hand is a beautifully finished orange color. I presume it's got loom there on the inside of it as well. And let's look at the case back. I haven't looked at the case back yet, but there is a lot to discuss about this watch. It's beautiful. There's multiple parts to the case back as well. So yeah, it's a screw down. I'm sorry now, the light is not great there. Let me just tone down the light a little bit, see if we can get in there. I'm just going to give it a quick wipe as well. And there we go. Hold on now. Let me get a focus here. All right, so there's a graphic on the, I presume that's a sapphire crystal caseback, a see-through caseback, and there's a graphic on that. Again, it sticks to the airplane theme, but even the finishing on the caseback it's beautiful. It's not a one-piece caseback. There's grooves in it, and it looks multi-dimensional. It almost looks like a 2-piece caseback, which is beautiful. Got solid end links there, which are clearly shown. And it looks quite easy to adjust. And then we've got the bracelet. The bracelet is obviously solid, but it feels robust, but it also feels thin and light in hand. And that's going to make the watch very, very wearable. Look, I've been speaking for almost 20 minutes and I still haven't gone on to dimensions. Right, okay. So the diameter is 41mm, which is modern sized, but it still has the vintage aesthetic. The thickness is 12.3mm thick, and I love that about watches in this kind of tier. It's thin on the wrist. Remembering, of course, that 12.3 includes the domed crystal. Oh, wow. Look at the contours there. It's stunning. It's stunning. It does have an Oyster Perpetual vibe for sure. But looking at that boxed crystal and the coin edge bezel and sloping to the crystal, it's seriously got that vintage vibe. It's beautiful. Oh, look at the end links on that. I love this on watches. It's got female end links, which means you don't have this center link protruding down, which extends the lug to lug of the watch. let's talk dimensions quickly. Let's put them all into one because it's important and we want to know what we're dealing with here. So we've got diameter 41 mil. We've got thickness 12.3, including the box sapphire crystal. It's a lug to lug 47.7. I mean, this is going to fit all kinds of wrists. And then 22 mil lug width. The watch is beautiful. My God, David, it's a stunner. It's a stunner. I promise I will post it back to you. I promise I will, for sure. Oh, it's got a signed crystal with that big ant. I love the ampersand. I love the Bell&Ross logo. It's so symmetrical in its application. Yeah, it's incredible. And you've got that ampersand in the middle, but it sits well. You know, it sits well on the dial there, and adds another dimension to the dial. Got the crown guards. Now this is a screw-in crown. It's 100 meter water resistance. Does that make it a diver? I'm not so sure. Most divers are 200 meters water resistance, but like it is certainly going to tolerate splashes in the sink and a drop of rain. And like you can go underwater, you could go swimming with it at 100 meters for sure. There's no doubt about it. Is it a one and done watch? That's the question. Is it one and done? It does everything. It's got a field watch aesthetic. It's got a real vintage vibe to it. It's got those classic Planet Ocean numerals. It's also got a kind of a, you know, it does have a kind of a Submariner vibe to it. It's a dive watch, it's a GMT, and then looking at the bracelet, that's extremely dressy. And the high polished sides, it would function as a dress watch easily. It's a beautiful dress watch. This could be the one and done watch, combining all of those genres into one beautiful piece. The dial, sorry, the bezel, that two-tone bezel is just, it's yeah, it's getting to me. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, David. Well done. I am. And thank you for the honour of handling a piece like this. I'm just a humble guy here from South Ireland. I never envisaged that I would be, you know, get an opportunity to handle pieces like this. And that's something that the Dublin Watch Group does. And we haven't been meeting since COVID-19, bar virtually. We've been using Zoom a lot. We get to discuss watches. We have great fun. We have great fun. We've had such a great banter, say, over the Hodinkee travel clock. The Hodinkee travel clock. That's at the moment, as I'm doing this review, that is very topical at the moment. Overpriced. We had a couple of people say, yeah, there's a limited edition travel clock coming out by Hodinkee. You know, if it's 300 to 400, maybe 250, 300, I might buy it. Like, it'd be nice to have a limited edition piece. $5,900. I mean, come on, like. And it sent the watch community into a spin. So guys, this is much longer than I expected it to be, but I think the watch deserves it. I genuinely do. Does anybody want to hear me spouting on this long about what's the name of the watch? I don't think I even said that yet. It's a Bell&Ross. It's the BRV2-93 GMT. I'm going to put that in the description anyway. It's going to be on the title of the watch. First impressions are out of this world. It's a stunner. It's a stunner. The typeface used on the Arabic numerals is beautiful as well. And I'm going to throw in a loom shot at the end. I might try and edit and clean it up. It may not be 20 minutes long. We'll try and shorten it a little bit. But that's a genuine unboxing. That's my genuine first reaction. I did say I'd show the Omega. Look at the Omega. The poor little Omega. It's a lovely watch, but I mean, it's 37 mil. It's not a modern size, really. And look at the finish on the Bell&Ross. It just, yeah, it's on a different level. It's on a different level. I can't wait to do a full review. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions. I have to go. Thanks to David from the Dublin Watch Group for sending this down. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the Dublin Watch Group for all your support, and thanks to everybody who's tuned in and subscribed so far. We've been going 3 weeks here, I'm delighted with how things are going. I actually didn't expect it to go this well at the start. So thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing. If you like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and the next time I'll be talking to you, we'll be doing a full review of this beautiful Bell&Ross BRV2-93 GMT. Thank you. And there's the loom shot, guys, from the darkness of my ensuite. No windows in here, just an extractor fan, but it's ideal for taking loom shots. Whoa, yeah. That one's going to keep you awake all night. It's beautiful, guys. Thank you. Good luck. Bane.